welcome to the 5K Q&A. Thank you so much for your support. I never thought in a million years that this would ever happen, and I feel so blessed that I have so many people leaving wonderful comments after every time I get the chance to post. It's been wonderful reading all of them and also meeting some new people, so I'm really excited to see what this is going to turn into, if it turns into anything. So without further ado, let's get to that Q&A. Kano_0815_ asks, how long have you been playing the piano? And Hanaruz also asks, how long have you been teaching piano? So I've been learning the piano for 20 years now, and I've also been teaching for a little bit over 10 years. Rogwufu asks, do you know how to play jazz? Can you comp? Come join the dark side. Unfortunately, I don't know how to play jazz. Classical music is my main and maybe only form of music that I play, and I really do wish that I would have the chance to learn how to play jazz. I did study, self-study on my own, the James Levine textbook, and I got through like a third of it, and then life hit me and I had to put that to the side. So I really do wish one day I will have the time to learn how to play in the jazz style and also learn how to improvise. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Joshua_1611 asks, I'm 20 years old now. Do you think it's too late to learn the piano? In my opinion, I don't think it's ever too late to learn anything. It's just a matter of whether or not you're willing to put the effort and the time into it. Definitely being 20 years old, you are not too late to learn the piano. And if anything, the earlier you start learning it, the easier it will be. Get on it if you're really wanting to learn how to play piano. Noah's Ark Spine asks, who is your favorite composer? And Captain Classy also asks that too. I have so many composers that I love and I can't choose just one. So my current phase that I'm in right now is a Kapustin phase. I had to learn one of his etudes for a project and I fell in love with it, and I fell in love with the rest of his etudes as well. So I'm hoping when I get the chance and when I have the time, I'll get the chance to learn all of his etudes and maybe some of his other works too. So definitely go and check out Kapustin. Oreo_10_ asks, why don't you start your own YouTube channel? I do. I have two YouTube channels. I have one that I started a really long time ago called theOpenScore, same name as my current Instagram channel. So I will talk about that a little bit later, but I started a new one with a bunch of my piano friends. It's called 2 Sharps 1 Flat, and we are just a bunch of classical piano music nerds that have gotten together. We play games, we do challenges, we chat about music. So if you are interested in that stuff, do go check it out. We're a lot of fun. Sharar.200 asks, why the OpenScore? And I'm actually going to pair that along with James Seng, who also asks, what do you want to do with the OpenScore? So the OpenScore was actually a YouTube channel that I started way back when I was still in university, and I wanted it to be a channel that would touch upon the performance psychology and medicine in the performing arts, injury prevention, and any of like the behind the scenes stuff that people don't usually talk about, such as effective practice techniques, performance anxiety, and just like different perspectives on how to look at music or musical problems. So I do have some videos on there that might still be helpful for some people, and I do really want to create a whole bunch of videos that I have in my head pertaining to all those topics, but I have scared myself off with the standard of editing that I want to create for these videos. So if there is an editor out there, or you know an editor that would love to help me, shoot me a DM, we can chat. In terms of the Instagram channel, I just want to continue posting videos of myself playing, keeping myself accountable. I'm hoping maybe I can release some like tips and tricks and also touch upon performance psychology and medicine and injury prevention. We'll see how it goes. We'll see where all this takes. I don't know what I'm gonna do. We'll see. Golza_ asks, do you ever feel like quitting your piano? Yes. I have asked myself that question many times, whether or not I wanted to continue with music or continue with piano. Is piano for me? There's a prodigy out there that plays piano better than I can. What am I doing? And I think these questions are totally normal for anyone who is serious about their music and willing to pursue it as a career. You will face that question once or even more in your lifetime. And I think, at least in my experience and my own personal opinion, that quitting music is just not worth it. At the end of the day, more than likely you love music enough to struggle through that and to overcome whatever challenges you have. Whatever you're going through is going to pass. And so I think that quitting music is not worth it. So anyone who has that question and they're asking, should I quit music? You can do it. Whatever you're going through, it'll pass. You won't regret it. Malgrib Alfkostert, I'm sorry if I butchered your name. If you were given the chance to play your last song in your life, what song would you play and why? So I'm gonna assume that this is gonna be my swan song, it's the last thing I play, and then after that I'm dead. And if that is the case, I would choose Schubert's D960. For those who don't know, that is his last piano sonata that he writes. And when you listen to it, you can hear that he knows he's about to go up into composer heaven, and it is just absolutely beautiful. You can hear him ascend there and accept what is to come in some of the movements. And I think it'd be very fitting for the occasion if that was going to be my swan song. Hopefully I end up there too, and I'm ascending and not descending. Who knows? Turner Hagley asks, are you a gamer? I am a retired gamer. I used to game. If I was to ever game, I would never see this ever again. Gaming to me is like an addiction. Once I'm on it, that's it. I will probably become a live streamer just to make some income or something. But I don't game anymore for the very reason that I would probably never touch this again. Samuel Hamana asks, plan on helping out to set violin? I don't think they need my help. They're doing so well. They've paved the road for many classical musicians, especially in the YouTube sphere. So if anything, if they want to help me out and help Two Chores, One Flat and collab, I am totally up for it. I have some ideas. DM me or something. But yeah, they don't need my help. They're good. Too Hot to Handle asks, do you practice every day? Do you do scales or exercises before actually playing? I don't practice every day. I used to. Back when I was in school, I used to practice every day. A good day would be 4 to 8 hours, and a bad day would be 4 or less. So that was back in school when there was time to do that, but I have since graduated and I am now doing adult things. So on a bad day, I do 0 hours, and on a good day, I do maybe 4 hours of practice. It really depends. And in terms of warming up, I always warm up. In fact, all of you should be warming up before you play your instrument. Musicians are athletes of the fine muscles and the fine motor controls, so there is no athlete out there who would be looks like I'm just gonna wake up and go instantly into my 5K run. No, they're gonna warm up, they're going to stretch. So we have to do the same too to prevent any form of injury that might happen. So in terms of my warm up, sometimes I sight read because it gets the brain going and it gets the fingers going too. Sometimes I will just start with one of my slower pieces, or I'll start with one of my pieces but play slowly and kind of warm up into it. I don't do scales anymore. I used to as a kid, but what I do now is that if I have any technically demanding passages that I'm working on, I will make up my own exercise and fiddle around with those exercises, and then once I've kind of warmed up and focused on my own exercises, then I'll go more deeply into the actual passage. Piano_me piano.me_ asks, do you have any advice for motivating to practice in hard times? I am the worst person to ask for motivational advice to practice because I love practicing. I don't ever need motivation to practice, and I'm not trying to gloat or anything. I just love practicing. Like, for the most part, if it's not like eating or something, I'd rather be practicing. So some things that I do or I have habits of that help me practice or do things I'm not so motivated on. Number one is having a to-do list. I like listing things, knowing exactly what I need to do, and then having that sense of accomplishment when I like tick it off and knowing that I've done that. So that might be something helpful for you. Make yourself a list and say, maybe for this particular piece from bars to whatever you want to learn the left hand. And just having a list of no more than like 7 items, maybe 5, no more than 5 items, so you don't overwhelm yourself, can make you feel accomplished when you're done your practice session, and therefore make you feel more inclined to do the next practice session and feel accomplished as well. So that's one thing you can do. Sometimes I feel like it's not motivation that someone needs, but rather inspiration, and then that causes the motivation to like get in front of your instrument. So I would suggest look up and watch or listen to any of your favorite performers to help inspire you and bring up that spark again. Or you can also have someone to keep you accountable. So have a practice buddy and you guys can exchange like practice clips back and forth. Or you can even do the 100-day challenge. Accountability can be a really good motivator. And lastly, sometimes you just like motivation you don't even need. You just need to have the discipline and just do the action of practicing. So sometimes I like to like trick my brain into maybe not necessarily practicing for me, but maybe doing a workout or something. I will do 5 minutes of whatever task I'm feeling a little reluctant to do. And after that 5 minutes, if my brain is like, yo, I'm not feeling this, then I know, okay, now is not the time for it. I'll do it a little bit later. But usually after 5 minutes, your brain's accustomed to that new task and it's kind of jiving along and you just end up going for the next half hour. So those are my 4 tips that you could try. Hope that helps. Piano Mira asks, favorite pieces by Liszt? Mine are Mephisto Waltz No. 1, B minor sonata, and the Transcendental Etude set. That's a lot. They're all wonderful pieces. I love them as well, and I hope you get a chance to play through them or study them in your life because they're going to be a lot of fun. I think I would add to this list the Hungarian Rhapsody No. 2. That one's a lot of fun to listen to and a lot of fun to play too. Hahi_Hahi asks, do you compose? I have composed, but whether or not I would call it music is another story. So I'm gonna say no, I don't compose. Oreo_10_ asks, violin or bass? If you're talking about double bass or electric bass, not sure what you're talking about. I'm gonna say the violin I prefer more, but if it's also the double bass, like not double bass, the electric bass, then they're kind of violin and that one's kind of on the same level. Shahad.piano asks, in your opinion, what is the important thing about playing the piano? I think that when it comes to playing the piano and playing music in general, there isn't like one super important thing. There's a multitude of stuff. So if I was to say one kind of blanket category, I would say that being human is the most important thing, and that means having experiences and enjoying life and experience life. Because if you lock yourself in your practice room for like 8 hours a day, you're not getting the chance to experience all the different tones of love or joy or anger or betrayal or sadness or all those things. And if you have not that many things to draw on, to put in your music, to connect with the audience, what are you gonna do? So I think it's important to experience life, to be a human, to feel the ups and the downs so that you can pour whatever emotions you have into your music. The technique and all that stuff comes in afterwards. James.sang8 asks, if you had to pick another instrument that's not the piano, which one would it be? I would pick the violin. I did used to learn the violin, but like to like a high school level, so it's nothing amazing, but I would, if I ever get the chance or if I had the time, I would definitely pick that back up. James.sang8 also asks, Chopin Scherzo number 2 or Rachmaninoff Piano Concerto number 2? Definitely Rock 2. Definitely, 100%. Kurtz asks, was there a piece that really gave you a hard time that you cried? What was it? Like every single piece I've tried. Okay, just kidding. In all honesty, I have never cried over the difficulty of a piece. I think maybe I'm lucky in the pieces that I've chosen that they're not completely out of reach that would happen. I try not to get to the point in my practicing where I become frustrated or angry or disappointed in myself, because I don't think it's very helpful. But you know, if there is a piece out there that's too hard and you feel frustrated over it, ask your teacher for help, ask someone for help, or just maybe it's not the right time yet, set it aside, and in the future you'll definitely be able to take it up again and see where it takes you. James.sang8 asks, major or minor key? I think I gravitate more towards major keys. I have more favorite major keys than I do minor. Some of my favorite major keys are A flat major, B flat major, and E flat major. And in the minor world, I don't have as much an affinity to, but I can tell you I really don't like G minor. I don't know why, but if there's anyone out there who also doesn't like G minor, you're awesome. W-10 asks, do you play other instruments? Piano is my main instrument. As I said before, I did learn violin for a little bit. I mean, recorder? Back when we were like in elementary school. So I would say no, I don't really play other instruments. Piano is my first and only love. I hope you enjoyed this 5K Q&A, and I hope we can do more of this in the future. Thank you so much for all of your support. I look forward to reading all of your comments when I get the chance to post. So I can't wait to see you in the next post, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye!